lived in Beijing for the first. See, I came out in 1954. Uh, first for 8 years, and the reason we came out was my father came to the States when I was a couple of months old, and he came to go to the seminary in New York City, and we came out 10 years later, and to meet him. So when I was little, I was telling the kids I had two toys that I remember, a marble and a car, and I was very proud of them because I didn't see any other kids in my compound with any toys either. And we lived in a I don't know what to call it except compound. Is walled area. There's one big gigantic door that everybody inside this area has to go through. And at night is closed with a wooden, what do you call it, bar?
Yeah.
Yeah, like probably if you watch Chinese movies, it's just sort of like that.
Okay.
And so there are many buildings, not buildings, but rooms. But, so we lived in one of those rooms, and that's about maybe from that window to here, that size. My mother, my brother, and I lived in a room like that, and we had one light bulb hanging from the ceiling, and water that's open for 2 hours during the day. And the bed, there's no mattress on the bed, it's just boards on sort of like on sawhorses.
Okay.
So, I think, if I remember correctly, the floor was concrete. Because I remember having to sweep it, and I know it's not linoleum or indoor-outdoor carpet.
Yeah.
So that was where I lived. My mother worked full-time, trying to provide for my brother and myself, because my father was here, and at that time he was discouraged to send money back to China because of the government. So we didn't, my mother had her work, So 10 years later, my brother, my mother, and myself, we came out. We had visas to come out, but we didn't have visa to get into Hong Kong. So we were stuck in Macau for 2 years. So after that, my father in the meantime started teaching at the Army Language School. So he had some students that was sent to the embassy in Hong Kong, U.S. Embassy. So he helped us to come over. So we would fill out forms, and he would try to put it on top each time. So it was quite fast that we made it over here. So that's how I came to be in the States. And here, then I had to learn English. I didn't know any English coming over. I lived with an American family for 2 years. We all did, to acclimate to the culture and the language and the food. Then my parents then moved into the house he owned that he rented out, since he didn't know when we were going to be here. So, but he moved into his efficiency, and when the house, the renters left, then they moved into the house. My brother went ahead and moved in with them into the house. But the people I lived with, Auntie Cookie, wanted to keep me for 2 years. At that time it was just a year. And I said, fine, I can, do that, because I didn't, my father left when I was a couple of months old. So I didn't know my father. Hi. And I didn't know what he looked like. So the first time I really saw my father as a person was when I got off the plane in San Francisco. So I stayed with Auntie Cookie, and she kept me for another year. And it's a family: Auntie Cookie, Uncle Adrian, Ardeen, and Willette. And so I stayed with them for 2 years, and that's where I learned my English, was living with them. And I told them examples of learning English that I didn't know. You learn from context. You say something and you try to figure out what it means without having to look it up each time. Even if you look it up, you can't understand all the definition, the words, because I didn't know any English coming to the States. So in school too, the only thing I was good at was math, because it didn't use any English. So I was good in math, but not so good in in English and grammar or anything like that. So but I learned quickly and finished college. But that's basically my story.
Do you want to show me what you've been working on?
Here.
Ooh.
And this is another thing we played with. We didn't have any toys when we were little. We played with mud. If we go out when after it rains, you go out and dig up mud, and we made chairs and tables and stoves. You make a round stove to put on top or grill, and so that was. And this is one that you make a ball, and it has a hole on the top where you can blow into to puff it up, and you catch a fly. You catch a fly and stick it in through that hole, and you can hear a fly inside.
Huh. Very nice.
So you get rid of a fly and you have a toy. So, and boats and stuff, and we play with rubber band ropes where you don't jump, but you hook with your foot and do some special tricks with it. And we did have jump rope, but I didn't have any of that stuff because we just didn't have the money. I don't even know where to buy if we had the money. And something that you kick, I don't know what you call it. It's made out of feather and you kick it like this. But I wanted to find some, but I couldn't.
Yeah. Kind of sounds like a hacky sack.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
They don't make them like that anymore either. My mother brought one back from China because she went back to visit quite often. But it's not made like they used to. It's nice. I couldn't do it anymore. This could be my age, but I don't think they make them like they used to.
Yeah.
So, but anyways, that's it. That's my story.